Hi girls, and welcome to our summer pre-calculus class. I just wanted to go over a few things with you so that you can get started. First, what you're looking at here on my screen is our PowerSchool classroom page. So we're moving away from Schoology and into this new PowerSchool environment. So I'm going to show you real quickly how to log into that in just a minute. And also there is an attachment in the email that I sent you with some directions for logging in as well. Remember that our class materials will consist of some information here on PowerSchool, which we'll take a look at in a minute, and also the class notebook. So most of the content itself will be in the class notebook. So real quickly, just to get started, in order to log into PowerSchool, what you want to do is go to classroom.powerschool.com, and that, again, it's in the email that I sent you with some directions in it, so you can use that as well. Once you get to classroom.powerschool.com, you should see this sign-in page, and you're going to choose this option down here, Sign in with Microsoft. Once you do that, your account may or may not come up here. If it's blank, just choose the option to add another user, and then remember that your username is going to be your MND email address, and then your login is going, or your password is going to be your password that you use for your tablet as well. Once you log in, your page will look similar to mine, although mine has a little more stuff on it than yours does, more than likely. Up at the top here is what's called your class selector. You can drop that down. Likely you will only have one class in there, as I don't think they have the classes for next year in there. But so you can just choose your class. And then there's a couple of things on this navigation page that you can pay attention to. Right here in the middle, obviously, is your calendar, and then it's just showing you one day at a time, so you can sort of click through that. We don't have anything on the calendar until next week, so once we get to Thursday, you can see there's a lot of stuff there. So that would be there. You can use the links over here if you want to go to your full calendar, so you can kind of see like a week at a time. And then you can see predominantly things are due on Thursday and Friday for us. I'm going to go back to the initial page. Also over here in the activity feed, I'm going to try to just keep you updated with things that are due for the week. So on that home page there, that's predominantly what you want to look at. Over in your links over here, you want to pay attention to what's called class pages, and that's going to be more similar to what you're used to from Schoology. So if you click on class pages, so once you click on class pages, you should get to this page. So yours is going to look similar to mine, although mine is in preview mode, so it looks slightly different than yours. What you can notice here is that you have some content here, and then you have some navigations over here, so kind of pay attention to both of those things. So here I just have our course information, which is also in OneNote, and the pre-calculus schedule, which again is also in OneNote, so we're going to take a look at them there, but they're also listed here for you. I've listed the MyMathLab course code, so hopefully you've got that account set up. If not, you should probably take a look at getting that done as well. And then just your textbook, which you're going to access through the MyMathLab. And again, we'll take a look at that in a couple minutes. Over here, you have some navigation, so couple like sub pages. So if we go to resources, I have posted here for you your textbook solutions. So if you're looking at textbook problems and you want to make sure that you're getting them right, if you're just doing some extra practice, I won't assign anything from the textbook, but you can use that as an extra reference. So all of the textbook solutions are posted here. Also some calculator programs that you can put onto your calculator, and we can talk about downloading those when we have class on Monday. Next, you'll see there's something called standardized test practice. So these are just some weekly assignments to stay on top of ACT prep. So you can see there's one due every week. You don't have to wait to do them each week. You can do them at any time, but they are due periodically. Each of these assignments has 10 questions in it, and you will do those actually in here. So once you're in here, if you click on this, you will see your information about the assignment. So you have 30 minutes to do it. It's worth 10 points. I'm viewing this as Amy. I hope you're okay with that. Yours would have like, I want to start this assignment now button here. So you would just choose that, and then you could start start taking that quiz. So again, one due each week, and they're due on Friday by midnight. And again, you do not have to wait until that week to do them. You can do them at any time. It literally is just a ACT practice test that I've broken up into six sections of 10 questions each. The next thing you'll see here is some extra practice. This is not graded. This is simply just extra practice for you if you feel like you need more practice on a particular topic. Over here, broken down by chapter. I have everything up through the midterms currently, so I'll add the other chapters as we go along. So if you just click on the particular chapter that we're working on, and then you can see they're broken down by topic. So again, these are quizzes sort of within PowerSchool here, and you can do these unlimited times. I take that back. You can do them 10 times, I think. And when you're doing these particular questions, you will be able to check your answer at each question, so you don't have to wait until the end to submit. When you do the standardized test practice, it is set up more as a quiz, so you only get to do all the questions and then submit at the end. I think that's about it that we need to look at in PowerSchool here. You will be able to come here to go to your grading. I can't show you what that looks like because mine is different than yours. So you should be able to go here and go to your grading. Do remember that the login that you use to do your schedule and to look at your report card is different PowerSchool login than you're going to use for this. So remember, you have to go to that classroom.powerschool.com, and then you need to sign in with your Microsoft account. Okay, so let's switch over to OneNote. So this is where most of our course content is going to be kept, with the exception of those extra practices and the standardized test practice quizzes that you need to do each week. If you look in the OneNote notebook, you will see a whole lot of information. You can set up your notebook however you want. However, I did give you 3 folders that says like Chapter 1 assignments, Chapter 2 assignments, Chapter 3 assignments to get us started, and I would like you to make sure that you keep those there, because I will put some work in there that we will do during our class on Mondays and Tuesdays. So just try to keep those folders in there. Besides that, you can set up the rest of your folders however you want. So what I have done here is given you some course information. So these are our course guidelines that you can take a look at. Please let me know if you have any questions. I've just tried to break down our grading system here, our content outline, and just some general information. I've also given you a course schedule, which kind of gives you an idea of what's due each week. So you can see here, you have my math lab quizzes due, you have a standardized test practice for week 1, and the chapter 1 class assignment, which we'll typically do on Mondays in class, and then you have test 1 during that first week. And then kind of breaking down, it's basically the same thing every week. You have either the test or an exam, you have some My Math Labs that you have to do, and then you have the standardized test practice, and then we'll do some sort of assignment in class. I have sort of broken down your information for test 1 and test 2 already. I will try to get the midterm information up for you as soon as possible as well. And then you can see in the content library as well, I have broken down by chapter. And then inside each chapter, we have notes and then some additional resources. So first of all, if we kind of take a look at the notes, there looks to be a lot of stuff in here, but understand that everything is duplicated. So the first file in there would be the notes for that particular concept, which are blank, and then there is typically a video or possibly more than one video associated with that, which is going to typically go along with the notes. So these are blank notes with the video, and then the next file down would be the same set of notes that I have completed usually while doing the video. So you kind of have to judge your own learning style to decide what's going to be best for you. Do you want to watch the video and fill in the notes yourself? Do you feel like you can go through the notes that I have completed and kind of get enough learning from that? So it's going to be up to you to kind of start judging your learning style and what's going to be best for you. If there is something I can do in a different format for you, if you would prefer those notes in PDF so that you can print them out, just let me know and I will try to help you out with that. So you can just kind of see I've kind of broken down the topics. Some of them are really short and they might just be 2 or 3 slides. Some of them will be longer. So it just kind of depends on the concept. Also, for each chapter, there's a little section called additional resources, and in here is a sample chapter test. Don't consider this a reflection of what your chapter test will look like. This is just the sample test that is provided with the textbook, so I was giving it to you for a little extra practice if you need it. So again, this is not required in any way. This is just here for your use if you need it. So there's a sample test for each chapter. There's some standardized test prep questions and then the solutions to those. So again, nothing is required in this additional resources. It is simply there if you want some extra practice. And then you can kind of see what we're going to look at here chapter-wise. So we're covering pretty much of the book. We're skipping chapters 7 and 8. And then in chapter 9, we're only doing parts of it, and we'll do one part of it during the first part before the midterm, and then some other sections in there after the midterm. Chapter 10, we're just doing about one section in there, and chapter 11 is really just kind of I pulled a couple problems out of there for some limit notation content. Okay, and then the other thing that I wanted to talk about with you is the MyMathLab for School. So this is similar to your MathXL for School. This is just sort of the higher ed or the college sort of version of this. So you received the access code and the course code that I sent you. Hopefully you've gotten that set up. If you have not gotten that set up, let me know and I will try to help you, or you can stop by office hours Thursday or Friday of this week and we can get that set up. Okay, so once you do log into your MyMathLab account, it's going to look similar to your MathXL. There's a couple things I want to point out here that are slightly different. Your digital text is included within this site. So before you had the separate site for your textbook and then your MathXL. So here in the MyMathLab, you can get the text right here. So just click on the eText link over here in your resources, and then you'll get this, and you're going to click on it, and then that will open a separate tab for you in your browser where you can then have your book open and you can go back. We can go back to the MyMathLab in just a second and see that. Okay, so once you're looking at your eText, nothing particularly unusual or special about this. Over here, you have your navigation, so you can click that out, and then you can navigate through your chapter. So if you wanted to go to chapter 1, section 3, then you can just kind of click there, and then you're just going to navigate through here. Typical. Like I said, nothing particularly interesting or different about this than your other digital textbooks. So you have your navigation up here. You can change your font size, etc. So again, these textbook questions that you'll see at the end of each section will never be assigned or required in any way, but these are just extra practice for you, and then those answers are posted on the PowerSchool page. Remember, you have to go to the class pages. So we come back to the regular MyMathLab. Once you're in here, if we go back to the course homepage for a second, on your homepage you would see, so here starting Monday you had a lot of options that are available to you, and then you don't have anything due until next Thursday. So this is the content that's due for chapter 1. There's a lot of stuff here we're going to talk about in just a minute. So it's all kind of scheduled for the same day, so it's a little overwhelming on the calendar. I would recommend that you go to the assignments link. And then in here, you're going to see sort of 2 assignments for every topic. So these that are in all capital letters are the quizzes, and this is what's counted in your grade. You have 1 attempt to do them. It's typically anywhere between 5 and 10 questions. These practice ones are similar in content to the quiz. They have more questions in them, and then the questions from the quiz are coming from these questions. So typically maybe there's 10 questions in this practice, and then I choose 5 of them that we put into the quiz. So you can do the practice beforehand and then take the quiz. You can take the quiz and then you can go back and do the practice. How the grading works is this. I will take your quiz grade. If your quiz grade is not a perfect score, If you have done the practice, then I will give you half of the credit back on your quiz. So if you take this quiz and you get a 4 out of 5 on it, but you have done the practice, then I would go back and change that score to a 4.5 out of 5 instead of the 4 out of 5. So you don't have to do the practice at all. If you just take the quiz and you feel good about it and you get 100 on it and you're happy, that's fine. Or even if you take the quiz and you get a 4.5 out of 5 on it and you're happy, that's fine. So there's no requirement to do the practice, but the practice will get you ready to do the quiz. It should help you out there. But again, it's up to you. You kind of have to judge your learning style, and it may be different for different concepts. You might feel really confident about one concept, but not about another. Also, the practice, you can do it after the quiz. You can even do it like later after I've already put the grade in. I'll go back and I will update your grades. I think that's about it in the My Math Lab. So remember, you basically need to sort of function in 3 areas. So you have your PowerSchool that you need to be able to access, you have your My Math Lab that you need to be able to access, and then you have OneNote that you need to be able to access. Remember that I will be at school on June 6th and 7th if you need to come and get any help with getting into anything, or if you have any questions or anything. I will be in room 110. Remember, in OneNote, there is something called the collaboration space. So if you go to the collaboration space, I just have a page there for questions. So if you come across questions, feel free to put them here, or you can email me with the questions. If you put them here, you might want to email me and let me know that they're here, because I don't get an alert or anything that they're here. But this way, if you put the question in here and let me know, then when I answer it, everyone else would be able to see the answer to that question, because they may have had the same issue. But it's going to be important that you let me know when you have questions. Email me, put them in this collaboration space. Whatever method you want to use is fine. But since you're doing a lot of independent work, it's really important that you ask questions when you come across them. I will try to respond to you as soon as I can. Typically, what I will do on Sunday night is check my email and check this collaboration space for any questions that have not been answered yet. And then I will be prepared to answer those in class on Monday morning. I also try to kind of take a look at the My Math Labs and see if there's any problems that people were having a lot of difficulty with. So I just kind of go in and check your quizzes to see if there is a particular question that people were struggling with or getting wrong. So I can pull those and then we can go over them as well. But again, please remember that you need to just ask questions whenever you come across them, and we will kind of move from there. So as you're starting to get through the beginning of the content, just let me know what questions you might have, and we'll kind of talk on Monday morning.